Hi everybody, I'm Captain Floofers, and we finally made it to the ultimate video of this series about the deluxe mecha toys for Osama Sentai King-Ohger, and I'm actually surprised I made it this far in one day. I thought I was gonna, like, if I knew that it was actually gonna be, you know, it wasn't gonna take this long, I would have, I would have done it all in one shot like I had originally planned, but we're here now. So today we're going to be talking about the final set in the series, which is the, let me actually bring out this little guy too, the deluxe King-Ohger. This thing here is Castle Caucasuskabuto. I'm fairly sure that's what it's called. And remember in the first video I talked about how, or I mentioned at least, how each of the King-Ohgers is a ruler of a country in their little fantasy world. Well, this is the castle that the Red Ranger rules from. And yes, it's called Caucasuskabuto because it kind of looks like a Caucasus beetle. And we even got this little guy here. This is a shoe god, a guardian shoe god called Guardian Hercules. He's a Hercules beetle. I guess you could kind of open up the wings shell, but it doesn't really look right. He doesn't have any other articulation or anything like that, so let's just put him off to the side. I only showed him here because he's included in the set. I do not have packaging for this. Much like the Legendary Shoe Gods, I got this second-hand and loose from CS Toys. And yeah, the castle is a brick. It doesn't do anything. It can transform, though, because, as it turns out, the castle itself is also, itself, a shoe god. God Caucasuskabuto. Why don't they just call it God Caucasus? It's a Caucasus beetle. But, either way, let's transform it. So, these battlements, or whatever, this side, these are going to unclip. These are going to kind of come forward and down a bit. And then these are really ratchety, but they're going to fold up and in. And clip in place. Sorry if it's not the most visible. We've been dealing with bad lighting and bad camera angles all night. There we go. Just kind of get everything in this place. And here you have it. This is God Caucasuskabuto. It is the final shoe god that they use in the show. Evidently, it is the same size as their castle. It's like a tank spaceship thing. You even got tank treads down here. No wheels or anything, just the tank treads. There's a big old cannon on the front. And of course, the little, if I can get it on camera, the shell can open up, as you do with these. But it can't really do much else like this. It just looks neat. Like I was saying, it apparently is still like the same size as the... oh, what's this? Oh, I got I got 30 minutes. I can do this in 30 minutes. No big deal. So yeah, as I was saying before, this is meant to be like the same size as the castle, but it can kind of shrink down so that it can combine with the other parts and whatnot. But it obviously wouldn't be anything on its own like this if it didn't have its own robot mode. And guess what it does? So let's go ahead and quickly change it into its robot mode here. So first off, I'm going to be actually, let's spin it this way. I'm going to be removing these side horns from the main horn. And then we're going to bring these parts back down, except we're going to fully extend them so that they become legs. So it looks like this. The arms come down like so, and they can rotate into place. we're going to bring these little horns back, and these are going to attach onto the shoulders. And then we can do our dramatic face reveal by sliding up this little, I know I haven't zoomed in on it, whatever. You slide up this little face plate, and there's a little face underneath. And this is King-Ohger. It is its own robot. I'm not entirely certain how they really want you to use the legs. Like it'll stand fine like this. You can also ratchet them out, because the way that these are aligned, you get the most surface area on the ground when you have the legs like that. But you also can put the feet out like that. I usually have it like this. Sometimes I'll just have it standing straight up like this. It really doesn't matter. It's actually very stable either way. But with that stability does come a lack of posability. Like I mentioned before, this is where the what's the word I'm thinking for? You know how like we had all the great articulation and everything bumped up by 11? Well, this is back to standard Sentai stuff. Yeah, you can move the head around. That's also partially a transformation gimmick. You can move the head around. You can bring the arms up and out and like that. And there is some bicep swivel. There is some wrist articulation. There's no waist, no knee. Well, the only thing that the legs can do is go in and out. And that's your lot. Now, our friend Guardian Hercules here turns into this guy's main weapon. All you got to do is open up the shell like we did before, and twist the head so that it's a handle. Fits nicely into his hand, and that is the Hercules axe. And he basically uses the axe by default, which is why that came with it. It's not like an extra armament that came later, as far as I know. This is actually like his main weapon, and that's why it actually came with the robot rather than being like its own separate thing. It does count as a component shoe god on its own, and that's important to note because, as I alluded to, we've got a big chonker of a robot that's just begging to be combined with. And this is where we get absolutely nuts with it. I might back up the camera as much as I can to get a better angle on everything that's going on here. You can see my Godzilla Blu-ray. Alright, so starting off, let's start off with King-Ohger. We're going to take the Hercules axe. This is actually going to split into, if I can get into the light, two parts. We're going to just take the head off of the handle. Put that off to the side. Also, the rolling hammer, the snail gatling, the pea chainsaw, and the Cicada Blade are going to be joining in on the fun here. Next, we're going to move this back down over the face. We're going to twist this in advance because it's going to save us a headache later. It's going to reveal another face. Just ignore that. We're going to take off these horns, put these off to the side as well. Now this back section, this backpack, and this panel up on the shoulders are a separate piece as well. And we got to disconnect that, put it off to the side. Now, I'm just going to put the legs like this to make this easier. We're going to bisect this robot in half. That's a lot of damage. And just put this down here just for a second. I'm going to take the arm off and just kind of rotate it so that all of the detail is on the same side, really. And this is going to clip on to this side of the back side of the leg, basically. So then we're going to just pop this up for now. This is going to fold like this. That's going to fold like that. And do the same thing to the other side. It's got to be off camera because I don't have any room. But I am doing the same thing to this side. Alright, so let's put these off to the side. Now our boy, Extreme King-Ohger, we're going to be taking him apart primarily for ease and stability. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the sword, put it off to the side. I'm going to take off the backpack and put it off to the side. I'm going to take the crown off. Technically this is going off to the side as well. We can put the horns back up on the head, I guess, but we're also going to remove the head. And we're going to remove the legs. And just kind of put this back straight. And I'm also going to take out the little gold spider. All right, and I'm just gonna put the body for King-Ohger over here. All right, so let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Hopefully you can see all this on camera because I can't really see. There we go. Now I can see what you can see. Okay. All right. So, starting off with this guy. Mantis is going to connect onto this notch here. And then it's going to come down like this, and there's a clip on the bottom of the foot that's actually going to clip onto a clip that's on the castle bit. Okay? Same thing on the other side with the bee. Alright, 21 minutes left on my running time. Doing well so far. Alright, let's bring the body back up with the cannon and the armor and the claw still attached. And the legs for the robot are going to clip into these new armored boots. And we actually have room for the cannon now, by the way. So we're good on that. Next we're going to take the blade of the axe and the gold spider that we took off before. This is going to clip onto here. And we can actually remove this just to kind of put it back where it was. We're just kind of armoring up its crotch, for lack of a better term. Also make sure that these legs are completely straight, otherwise it's going to be unstable. Because nothing can truly take away the instability. I'm going to put the chest plate back in as best I can. Now everything's coming apart and I'm fumbling. And nothing wants to go in place. Alright. Armor back on. Excellent. Okay. Next part. This guy. There's this panel that will rotate out. Wings. Well, like this. This is going to go over the chest plate and clip into where the head was. Okay, still with me? Let's bring the camera up a bit. I think this is as high as I'm going to get the tripod to go right now. Anyway, tarantula buddy. First off, get our tarantula buster. We're going to put the crown back in because we don't really need it for anything else. And we're actually going to put it in the opposite hand. There. Okay. Snail is going to hook in to the hand where the buster was. I know this isn't exactly on camera, but best I can do right now. And then we're going to kind of fold this back a little bit because on the other side of the fist, we're going to plug in the hammer. It does kind of fit in loosely there, but we can hold it in place with that part. So we're going to come to the top here. The legs are actually going to start facing straight up. The chainsaw is going to go on this side. We also have to kind of move the chainsaw blade around so it'll fit. Cicada is going to go on the other leg. This is kind of the pain in the butt one to put on, but it fits. Right, that's going to be the best I'm going to be able to do with that. And this is going to slide back on to the back. Because the rail is now supported by that chest piece there too. Okay, robot head. This is actually going to be going into the sword. And what we're going to do is we're going to clip off the butterfly. We're going to reattach this to the butterfly, so just untransform the butterfly, basically. And slip this back on. See what I said about it being a pain in the butt to keep in? But luckily once it's clipped in, there's a little notch that'll, let the handle do its thing. This is going to go back onto the backpack. We just kind of gotta get the legs out of the way for the new head. Something like this sort of formation. And new head, we got this main section with the new face sticking out. Got plenty of time. The side horns clip onto the sides of the new head. Like so. And the handle from the axe, or the Hercules head, is going to fit onto a post, or peg, on the forehead. Thusly. And then just put this down here, and we're done. This is perfection. This is God King-Ohger, or we could probably in this case call him God King-Ohger Zero. This is amazing. I love this so much. It's so unnecessary and huge, and everything that I want in this sort of everyone in the pool cluster combination. Insanity. I love it so much. Now I know that not everything is of the I know not everything is black and gold. I mean, there's obviously some navy around that blends in pretty fine. So we've got a lot of navy blue parts on the castle and on Tarantula Abyss, and that kind of blends into the black and the gold very well. So we can consider that actually part of the color scheme. But then you've got the orange from the snail, because even the chain hammer is navy blue, and actually I think it's the same navy blue that's on Tarantula Abyss, so that still really fits in. But the snail is orange. I know the snail isn't really visible on camera right now, and I actually misplaced the snail. I put it on backwards. One moment. There we go. Not that it's really super visible, but like the snail is the right way around now. Back here. And again, the snail is orange. It's not navy blue or black or gold. So it doesn't really fit in. But then you've got to remember that on a lot of these components and whatnot, there were black and gold, but they also had a little bit of accents of other colors on them. The stag beetle had a little bit of red on it, the grasshopper has a little bit of pink on it, and so on and so forth. So, I guess for the combination at large, that snail can be an accent of a little bit of orange on it. And that's how I'm justifying that, and I think that that's great. This is very unwieldy. I'm actually surprised that it's standing, because it can get unstable very easily. In fact, I think it's bending backwards a little bit, looking at it from the side. But regardless, I'm so glad that I put this together. It was so much fun collecting these. So much fun, playing around with them and putting them together and combining them. I'm very happy with this, and I primarily recommend getting just like the base robots if you can. At the very least, King-Ohger and Tarantula Knight are fantastic robot toys in and of themselves. King-Caucasuskabuto is okay on its own as well. I don't necessarily recommend getting a lot of the other components unless you really, really want them, or you really, really want to make God King-Ohger. And like I said, if I wasn't making God King-Ohger... Oh, there's something I forgot to mention, is that there's actually little notches for the lower tarantula legs to go into. That actually gives it a bit more stability. There we go. Alright, so yeah, if I wasn't making God King-Ohger, I wouldn't have gotten like the snail or the pillbug. But, at the end of the day, this is totally worth it, and I love having this, and I recommend checking this out if you can get whatever you can find of it. Definitely go ahead and pick it up, especially the black and gold recolors of if you can get King-Ohger Zero and Tarantula Abyss, I definitely recommend those sets above all else. But if you can go for like a full God King-Ohger, especially a black and gold one, it's definitely worth it in my opinion. And I am done with toy videos for a little while longer. I got some other things I gotta get done from here. So I hope you enjoyed this little retrospective. I enjoyed making it, and I'm glad that it was only kind of like a one and done thing for me in one day. But yeah, this has been the deluxe Osama Sentai King-Ohger mecha line, and I've been Captain Floofers, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?